You want to know what shock really feels like? Try walking into your ex-wife's backyard after almost a decade, expecting to find your son in a happy home. And instead, you find him locked in a filthy old pigsty, clutching a rotting carrot like it's his only friend in the world. That's not a metaphor. That's exactly what I saw. And I'll tell you, there are moments in life where your heart just stops. Mine did, right then, in the dirt and stench, staring at that little boy. My boy. People ask, how does something like this happen? Who lets it happen? I used to think evil always wore a villain's mask. But the truth is, it hides behind polite smiles and silent neighbors more than any monster under the bed. I'm Ethan Caldwell. And if you're wondering how I let my son get locked away like some unwanted animal, well, I wish I had a simple answer. Years back, the courts handed Owen, my only kid, over to Clarissa, my ex. We fought, like couples do, then split. I thought, let her have full custody. He'll be safer away from the mess. That day in court still haunts me. Owen, 5 years old, tugging my sleeve, whispering, "Where are you going, Dad?" I didn't have the words. I just shut the door. Flash forward to that gray September day. I showed up unannounced, a gift bag in one hand, Legos, a new hoodie, things I hoped would fit the boy I hadn't seen in 4 years. Clarissa opens the door, lipstick fresh, smile forced, telling me Owen's away at camp. It's September. Camp. Yeah, right. Her new husband, Dale, shows up all puffed up and territorial. I almost left, almost. But as I turned to go, Mrs. Thornton, the silver-haired neighbor, stopped me. "Owen's still here," she said, quiet but firm. "He never went to any camp." That's when the uneasy feeling turned cold and real in my gut, Mrs. Thornton told me, "You need to find him." I walked around back, heart pounding, past overgrown grass and that old animal shed nobody used anymore. The door was rusted but not locked. I listened, then heard it. The softest cry, like someone had been swallowing pain for days. I pushed the door open, and there he was, my son, knees drawn up, face streaked with dirt and tears, gnawing on a carrot like a stray dog. "I'm sorry," he whispered, voice raw. "I didn't steal anything. I was just hungry. You know what I mean?" I couldn't even breathe. I just knelt down, tried to smile, held out my hand. He flinched, instinctively covering his head. That moment broke something in me. "It's me, buddy, it's Dad," I said. I didn't even recognize my own voice. Seconds later, Clarissa stormed in, rage and panic warring on her face. Dale right behind her, silent and seething. "Who gave you permission to come in my yard?" she shouted. Dale's jaw clenched. "Get off my property before I call the cops." I wasn't going anywhere. I pulled out my phone, took pictures, every detail. Clarissa screamed about rights, about court orders. I told her, "Go ahead, call them. And tell them to bring Child Protective Services while you're at it." The standoff was ugly. Owen cowering behind me, Dale stepping forward, Clarissa trembling. But for the first time in years, I didn't back down. I picked up my son, ignoring his flinch. We left, just like that. And in the driveway, I promised myself, never again. That night, I called Parker, my attorney, sent every photo, every scrap of evidence. He didn't sugarcoat it. "We need more. A timeline, witnesses, medical reports." I said, "I'll get it. I'm not leaving him there." The next morning, I went back to Mrs. Thornton's place. She'd seen it all, heard Owen's cries, the shouting, the threats. "I'll testify," she told me, hands shaking. She even let me hook up cameras in her yard. I watched hours of footage, saw Dale yanking Owen by the arm, tossing him into the dirt, threatening him with a wooden spoon, all while Clarissa played hostess in the backyard, balloons and cake for her new baby with Dale, pretending nothing was wrong. You ever get that sick feeling, watching evil unfold in real time? Yeah, that's what it felt like. One Friday, as Clarissa's new baby had a birthday party under the string lights, I caught a fresh video. Dale dragging Owen, snarling, "Cry one more time, and you don't eat again." That was it. I called Lydia, the lawyer who'd helped with my divorce. She brought in family services, the police. They arrived quietly, right in the middle of the party, the music still playing, neighbors clutching plates of cake. The officers walked straight to the shed, opened the door, and Owen stepped out, blinking at the sunlight, unsure if he was free. Clarissa lost it, screamed, tried to claw him back, but the law was on my side now. Mrs. Thornton and Owen's teacher both spoke up. We saw. We heard. For the first time, silence broke on our street. Afterward, Clarissa's picture-perfect world collapsed. Dale lost his job. Clarissa's bank accounts were frozen. Their house became a tomb. Shades drawn, curtains closed, rumors circling like vultures. Meanwhile, I brought Owen home to my high-rise apartment. At first, he barely spoke, barely ate, hid bread in his pockets just in case. At night, he'd wake screaming, curled in a ball, convinced any noise would send him back to that cage. I sat with him, quietly, never rushing, never forcing, just letting him know, I'm not leaving. Dr. Haley, a child psychologist, told me, kids who've been abandoned don't need fixing. They need someone who stays. So I stayed. It took time, but little by little, Owen began to heal. One night he asked, "Do you have any glue?" Wanted to piece together a torn photo of our old family. We sat there, on the floor, pressing broken edges together, awkward, imperfect, but whole in our own way. Every morning, we took another step. I cooked breakfast. He ate, sometimes even laughed. He started asking questions. Did you ever like the color green? Do you know how to build Lego? Small things, but they meant trust was growing back. The custody hearing was brutal. Clarissa tried to paint herself as the wounded mother, claimed postpartum depression, said Dale didn't know about the pen. But the evidence was overwhelming. Bank statements showing every support payment I'd sent, school reports, neighbor testimony, and finally, the video. The courtroom was silent as it played. Then Owen, brave as any grown man, stood up and said, "I want to live with Dad, because he doesn't look at me like I'm garbage." That line broke every wall in that room. Even Clarissa sobbed. Finally, real, not for show, the judge granted me full custody. Clarissa was ordered into rehab, Dale barred from seeing Owen. The house where my son was locked away became empty, just a shell. But we didn't celebrate. There's no winning when a child suffers. I left my job, moved us to a quiet house out past the city, somewhere Owen could sleep without fear. Nights are still hard sometimes. Old wounds don't vanish because a judge signs a paper. But now, when Owen wakes, I'm there. No more locked doors, no more secrets. That on his 9th birthday, we baked a lopsided cake together. Just us, Mrs. Thornton, a couple of friends who'd stood by us. Owen gave me a note. "Thank you for coming back." That's all he wrote. And for the first time in years, I felt hope. So what do you think? If you'd seen what Mrs. Thornton saw, would you have spoken up? Would you risk your peace for someone else's child? I want to hear your thoughts. Because sometimes, justice isn't just a courtroom. It's one person refusing to be silent. If you've ever felt invisible or left behind, remember, there's always someone out there willing to see you. Let's talk about it. Are you okay today? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time, where maybe we'll find a little more heart together.